Welcome to the 2019 April webinar from Pearl Planning. This month we want to talk about incorporating your values into your investments. For many people, you're thinking about the earth, the environment, your governance, your personal governance, and how things align with your outside life when it comes to Earth Day. So we thought this was the perfect time of year to be discussing the new wave of environmental, social, and governance investments that are available to personal investors. I'm Melissa Joy, founder and financial planner at Pearl Planning, located in Dexter, Michigan. Welcome to our webinar. So when it comes to investing, traditionally, people have looked for companies that will make money. But there's a new wave of investing, sometimes known as sustainable investing, and also often referred to as ESG investing, which stands for environmental, social, and governance, that has had increasing traction both from institutions or large investors, as well as demand from personal investors over the last several years. We're going to dive into what ESG means, and this is an offshoot of a different type of investment, which was known in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s as socially responsible investing, where screens were done to eliminate companies that were perceived to do bad things in investing. So some examples of environmental, social, and governance are listed here. You can see that there's these are kind of thematic with other cultural discussions within society. With environmental, certainly climate change is a topic, occupational safety, the protection and conservation of land, water, natural resources, animals, use of water. And social, this is where things such as gender diversity, religious values, income inequality, human rights might be tackled. And then governance. How does a company operate? Do they expose themselves to fraud? Is the board operating with diversity and its own point of view? How is oversight, and how is our corporate rules being enforced? So there are many different paths that could be seen as fitting into ESG investing or themes. And so there's a lot going on when it comes to this topic. So you see a scale here that goes from where we've been over time, conventional investing, which does not add or integrate values that we just mentioned, to exclusionary screening, which is that socially responsible investing that I mentioned, which was kind of old school ESG, to integration in the middle, which is looking for the positive factors in companies that are incorporated in the page I just listed before, so as to have positive factors with investments and think long term. What we're not covering today, but are also kind of related topics, are impact investing, where there's investments intended to increase the social, environmental, government's impact, or philanthropy, which is also meant to do good. So how could ESG investing and impact investing, what is that and why? Well, first, the alignment of ESG investing. It better helps to align a portfolio with values incorporated into and articulated from the investments that you use. And it also seeks to have a positive impact on the return of an investment portfolio. Of course, performance cannot be predicted, and results are mixed, but we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. So, as I mentioned, institutions and other parts of the world have really been focusing on these themes in investing. Europe is a high adopter of ESG investing. And what we found is there are groups of people and investors who are demanding opportunities to invest in ESG. And what you can see here on this visual is that in the pink are personal investors. In groups, we have millennials who have a high demand for aligning their personal values with their investment style. as well as women, have been perceived to be, and studies show, are leaders in wanting environmental, social, and governance investing. But then in gray, there's a lag when it comes to investment professionals and their adoption or interest in discussing ESG investing. So there is a differential between the interest of consumers and clients who are investors versus professionals. Of course, some investment professionals, such as myself, are interested in that. So the market and the opportunity set is changing, where there are opportunities for investors to find professional advice within the ESG space. So what would be the value of this type of investing for you as an investor? First, and this is all about returns or protecting your portfolio, you might be able to reduce risk by having environmental, social, governance values incorporated into your investment style. So companies that are ignoring the risks that are currently of a topic in the market and with regulations might be headed for more challenging times. It also allows investors to have a more conscious philosophy when it comes to how they create their investment portfolios. Additionally, it provides the opportunity to think longer term about investment results. There is often additional due diligence in order to ensure that your investment strategy is meeting ESG strategies and qualities. It may be perceived to have a higher kind of fiduciary duty, and it aligns your personal passions with the way that you may invest for certain investors. When you look at, particularly at returns, how might you be able to enhance returns with ESG investing? You know, ESG managers, I've heard them use Equifax as a good example in the past, where if you were paying attention to the governance and the board, you may have seen risks that were not known to outside investors before the breaches that occurred. So it might reduce either fraud or potential for risk. Certainly other managers have talked about oil spills, British Petroleum, and how some ESG managers may have been focusing on that. And it also thinks longer term about some impacts to, long-term society or environment that may not be in front of people thinking quarter to quarter when it comes to profits. In general, investments are, kind of what have you done for me lately, and certainly that matters. But a long-term perspective is highly valued by many investment teachers and professors, and so this is an opportunity to have a longer-term outlook. So the thing that investment professionals say is, I'm not interested in ESG investing because I think that there may be a negative impact to performance. And I mentioned SRI investing, socially responsible investing, which some studies showed did have a kind of a performance penalty in some cases in the past. But studies on environmental, social, and governance investing have had mixed positive and neutral results, and negative results. Negative results being the least likely outcome in studies. So about 11% of studies say that there's a negative factor to ESG investing. The highest percentages are mixed and neutral. And honestly, that doesn't surprise me, because you still have to have a sound investment strategy, even if you're using this. This is not a silver bullet, which naturally creates just a knock it out of the park. But, there's more positive results than negative, and beyond that, it's mixed and neutral, just like many different areas of investing. When it comes to corporate responsibility, when it comes to actual company performance, with paying attention to sustainability, actually the results are much better. Almost 57% of corporate studies on sustainability have resulted in positive outcomes or attributes when focusing on these sustainability factors. So that gives good credence that there may be something, a sound factor in focusing on ESG strategies. So if you're an investor who's been interested in ESG, I'd encourage you to first explore and define your personal values, refine and articulate them so that you're easily able to tell them to your financial professional, or find a financial professional who's willing to talk about your ESG strategies. I can't tell you how disappointing it was to hear from an investor that I work with that she had asked her previous advisor about ESG investing, and essentially he blew her off, made her feel less than for asking about something that was very important to her. So, there are investment professionals like myself, and financial planners who are willing to incorporate, and actually would like to incorporate, ESG strategies when appropriate or requested. So that's something that I think about all the time. I'm thinking about that in incorporating my general portfolios, but I also have special ESG portfolios for investors who are interested in ESG investing. So keep an open mind and look for someone who will be long-term working with you to align your personal values with your investment portfolio. And then discuss the strategies that you will be using to integrate your values. There are a wide range of kind of investment possibilities when it comes to this. This gets more technical, but it's not one size fits all. So having a investment strategist who has the capabilities to think about your particular needs and how you might be able to put them into a portfolio is very important. And then monitor your results, refine execution, and certainly this is an area where there is a lot going on. There's a lot of new possibilities. You also need to be careful and make sure that you're not kind of investing in the flavor of the day. So, continue to refine the process over time. So this is intended to be a quick update introducing you to ESG investing. I hope you've had the opportunity to learn a little bit more from me. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. So my phone number is listed here, 734-274-6744, or don't hesitate to email me as well if you have questions about how to get started with aligning your personal values with your investment portfolio. Thank you for joining us today, and have a great Earth Day.